What's going on, everybody? Okay, so today, last night was fight night. This morning is the morning after. I wanted to do a video on proper feuding. I wanted to see if I can get in some good gameplay footage and showcase a couple of cards that a lot of people don't normally work, that I believe are extremely viable. I'm playing with them myself. I'm wanting to tinker around more with the belts than anything else, but I have high hopes. So we're going to get into this fight, and I'll just kind of walk you guys through as I'm playing. Enjoy. Alright, so just in case we had just found a fight, these are the rules. Win with the superstar for the first time in the brawl. 300k. Right there. Off the bat, you're already getting 300k for your first time win on rotation. Defeat a 6-star bronze opponent. This guy can be unleveled at 6-star bronze. You're still going to get that. Okay, so that's 450,000 right there. That's half a mil. If you have a line bonus of 10%. Okay, so we're going to hop in here against King Kerr. Oh, King Kerr. I concur. Okay, so this is what my setup looks like. I already know what can take on who, so I'm already immediately going to go into the fight knowing what does what and where. Rocker Sean is amazing, but the AI does not know how to play him worth a dick. He is extremely ineffective as a card on defense. What's going to wind up happening is, anyway, I spin this. If he happens to get a second turn, then what's most likely going to wind up being the case is he is going to, sorry, I had to think for a second. He's going to generate, or he's going to do the damage per black. He's going to generate, he's going to blow up the board, getting for a pen, he ain't getting up. But normally what you would want to do is you'd want to put down your multiply gems, then put down your blacks, then hit the move damage, then swipe your blacks to, kill off the person. In general, the AI doesn't know how to do that. So Rocker Sean is always one that if you are, he's not going to one-shot you. Same thing with Nakamura. Nakamura and Sean are the same exact card basically in my eyes. The AI just doesn't know how to play them. To be fair, a vast majority of people who have the cards don't know how to play them. But that's just a learning curve. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where to put some gems there. So, and even if this Nakamura kick, he's not gonna, I was gonna say even if he kicks out, he's not gonna do very well. The thing to remember is a majority of the AI doesn't know how to play the game. So, like Ghostbuster John Cena. The AI doesn't know how to play him turn 1. Unless they're in the proper rotation. Let me give you an example in this next one. We're already going pretty fast. Anvil, meet my Tech Sammy. 25 shards away from him. I was 45 shards away from him yesterday. Okay, so here's the rotation. So what's going to wind up happening if he gets a turn is this would go off, and then eventually this, and then, it'd be a back and forth. That's an interesting setup. But, so Ghostbuster Cena. If you hop into a fight with Ghostbuster Cena, and he has the countdown gem damage here, the countdown gems here, and then whatever his third slot is right here, the very first turn, he's going to do the gem damage first, then he's going to put down the countdowns. However, if you do not end his life, right, I shouldn't say end his life, if you do not defeat the card, if you do not win, on your first or second turn, 95% of the time, he is going to play the card correct, or play the rotation correctly next turn, and he won't stop. For some reason, the AI sees you not beating him on turn 2 as an act of war, and at that time it decides it's going to start playing the card correctly, and it's going to make sure that you suffer immensely. It happened to me 3 different fights last night. This is just some knowledge for your brain, that's all. No, normally I would say, so like Showdown, the rotation, or the AI does play the rotation correctly if you set up the moves. And I believe it's bottom to top, so the bottom move is what's going to go first, then the second, then the third. So it just moves its way up the ladder. Okay, so we have Shamrock here.
You guys were up here?
Okay. So it looks like we got Shamrock. I'm just going to end Shamrock. So normally what you would want to do is, I have 7 cards. I know one of the cards is a dud right now because the rest are 5-star golds. It's not necessarily a dud, I just don't have enough knowledge on playing my Shamrock just yet. So I couldn't really tell you how I would fare. I'd probably do halfway decent just because it's the double submission setup. I could probably do a 5-star gold with it, but I just don't want to waste that kind of time. I know he's doing between 300,000. He's doing about 1 million damage each submission rotation, so that's both of them combined. And then there's a lag period after the second submission where you have to do the green, you refill, and everything like that. And it's just not something I want to go into right at this moment because the damage isn't there. Bischoff has done very well for me this fight, and I don't understand why. Usually he doesn't do very well, but both those moves being charged up, or at the beginning of the fight, just makes this a whole hell of a lot easier. I think the way I'm going to position Bischoff is he is now officially the card that I will do for Striker at the beginning of the Flash feud, or Faction feud. Oh, I could have just ended it right there. At the beginning portions of the month, he's going to be one of the cards I kind of go to. At the end of the month, he's not going to be, because the defensive perks I talked about in my last video. Actually, I want to use Ray for this. Ray is relatively good against Trick Rock or Memrock. I didn't put my MP trainer on him. That doesn't matter. He does very well against Memrock, to the portion where Memrock, or let me rephrase all of this. So every single time, Memrock is going to pen you. There's no question in my mind. He does it every single time. It's just the way his kit is built. So essentially what you would want to do, set those up a little different now. Let's go right there. So normally what happens, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. The defensive cards like Ray that have a kick out and everything like that, if they're activated first, a majority of the time, the AI tries to avoid it as much as humanly possible. And it does a decent job most times, but there are a lot of times where it does the same mistakes players do. Right there. It goes for the pin. A lot of the times it won't go for the pin. I don't understand why, it just doesn't. And we're gonna have to survive again. I hate the fact that Ray's power comes from a kick out. So stupid. It's not stupid, I understand why, I just don't like the fact he has to take damage. Well, that one's over. But yeah, Memrock is one of those ones, he doesn't hit hard enough majority of the time. So having Ray go against him, he's going to take just a hint of damage and then go back to normal. Luger, I took 6-star bronze for this feud. I wasn't planning on doing it. It just kind of, the way the video went and me seeing what I did wrong with his belt, I became very intrigued. So I put Queen Zelina on the back burner for a minute and decided to go with Lex. Be honest, he's probably going to be one of the showboats that I go with on the first fights. He's actually outside of Bischoff. Yeah, outside of Bischoff, he is probably one of my better Attitude Era guys. He does okay on damage, close to 500,000. I need to reset back up his trainers. Generally, he does a lot more than that, but I switched off trainers last night for a little bit of grinding. Yeah, 1.4 off of a board wipe isn't bad. It could be a whole heck of a lot better, and there's probably something I'm missing. Can probably do a lot better than that. Alright, so that's first feud down. I'm going to actually switch up a couple of trainers and everything like that. Make sure that all my guys are completely set up, and then we'll be back for fight number 2. So I want to do 2 different feuds in this video and give you guys a little bit of know-how on speed. See, that took 11 minutes, or just over 11 minutes roughly for that fight. Would have gone a lot faster if I'd been able to get the pin off quickly, or the kick out quickly with him. If I had my trainers on, it probably would have saved me a minute and a half. Alright, we'll see you in the next fight. Alright, everyone, so now we're going into fight 2. So, what I did in that little stall period there was I put the trainers back on Ray and Luger. Because, you know, sometimes you just forget. Okay, well, Jason's on. Okay, so now we're just going to go through our rotations. I'm not too familiar with Ricochet, but I do know that Sheamus hits like a Mack truck and can handle a majority of the stuff that comes his way. This is the reason why I promote putting in props. There are certain people who have set up their cards, or set up their perks for maximum defense, or they have a trainer on them that reduces the MP to kind of balance it out. So that's always something to kind of, this one is a little bit funky. There we go. Hit him with the sauce. Yeah, he's not getting up. He gets up, but I don't see that happening. After doing those slight adjustments to Sheamus, I am really happy with the way that he is performing. I'm so used to trying to have to overkill on him that not having to do that and just making it into a do a move, and then hit, or swipe, and then hit that big move. It's nice. If you have him, I highly recommend that you build him up. He is worth the investment. This poor guy. He must have trainer conflicts. When you go against an opponent with a 6-star bronze that the MP trainers are not on there, you kind of feel just a little bit bad for that person. At least that's my experience. I always feel bad because it's like you're not being able to use your maximum potential. Yeah, he went defensive perks, or he had to have. Because normally my finisher's ready to go at this point. Go for the 8. We learned that yesterday in the video. Yeah, we can end him here. It is amazing. I've actually done that a couple of times to the cards, and they've gotten to that second notch and still kept out. How they did it, I'll never know. Who is this Ridge? He doesn't have the Titan plate, so screw it, we're going in. When you go against a Ridge, if you see the full belt is set up for Fury and it has a Titan plate, at that portion it's kind of a, yeah, that's where his other, he doesn't have double MP trainer. So instead of putting the black on Luger, he put the black on Ridge there. There's been too many times during this move where I have skipped over this move, and it is severely punishing. Now, I did switch him over. I know in the video, or no, I guess he wasn't in the video. I thought I showcased him yesterday. It was part of my plan too. I had him built up in Vitality, which put him at 12 million health. But I figured the Vitality wasn't doing him nearly as much justice as what I thought it did, so I switched him over to full Fury. Fury 2, actually. And that seems to be helping out a lot. Break those two should fit him out. So if you're ever curious as to what Bischoff can do, there you go. He is worth the investment, in my opinion, especially for a first month feud. Even as an NWO guy, he can clear off the tours pretty effectively with that. Okay, so I know you hit like a punk. Stupid HBK. I know for a fact he's going to go off. I know for a fact he's going to hit me for 2 to 3 million damage. Even at 6-star bronze, he doesn't go any higher than that. Sadly. Not going to use the traps because there's no point. Hit that. Move the bar a little bit. There we go. And watch him go through his rotations. Poor guy. He didn't even, he barely scratched the surface. So the reason I'm going so fast is the ×2 multiplier. That comes with the manager subscription. I'm thinking of getting rid of it, to be honest with you. I love the 2x speed, it's great. But paying a subscription for basically pulls each month. This one's a toughie. Let me see what your trainers look like. If he is set up, nope, he is not set up, so we're good. Never mind. Trick Ray is always questionable. If they have trainer set up and everything for kick out on turn 1, it's best to just avoid it. That normally hits a lot better when you can do this move with it, but hey, shit happens. I'm not gonna waste an MP on it. And 629,000 damage times 7. You're dead. So this is the reason why I feel Luger is extremely viable still. Even though he's not turn 1 like he used to be. I mean, he can be. He still can be with double black MP trainers, but my black MP trainers are currently occupied. I'm weighing this out. Hold on. Your requirement. Can I see how many you've done? Okay, so you do need those. You're only at 14. He can't take them. Okay. The reason I looked real quick before I even did this was the macho requirement. I understand his is 5-star gold and everything, but it's not max 5-star gold. And if it was max 5-star gold, I'd probably assume it could do some real messed up damage to these guys. But I also see him wasting out the clock, and I just don't want to sit here. That's the other thing. If you're planning on helping out your faction mates by giving them a couple of wins and stuff like that, a couple for their bonuses, you have to weigh in a few options here. You have to weigh out, where are they sitting at on the poll already? What's the time frame look like already? So you're already at 10 minutes here. He's got 2 fights left. He would have had 5 fights if I had not just taken these 2 last ones and just handed them over. Now, if he was finished with his, I would by all means hand it over. There's no real reason to not hand it over. My bonuses are done. But it's a time frame thing, and the faster I get done with mine, as soon as he's done with his, you're off to a separate fight. So, but if he's ready to go, like he's already done with his, then by all means tag your teammate and be like, hey, do you want these for bonuses? And there we go. That's the end of the fights. So if you liked what you saw, comment down below. I personally am very pleased with Bischoff for this one. I was really hesitant on using him, but he's done very well. Luger, I was hesitant to take him up to 6-star bronze, but again, doing very well at 649k a submission turn times 7. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. We're looking at roughly We're looking at about 4.5 million damage. Plus with the board swipe and everything, you're looking at another 5 million. Yeah, he's a little slower, but he's an amazing 5-star gold sweeper. And to be honest, he can be quite a nuisance to the opposition. If I get a affiliation belt for my Xavier, I will switch up his moveset to something completely different that would ensure that the submission at least goes off turn 1 like it used to, and kind of mitigate some of the opposition's damage coming at me. At least their moves kind of bring those down a little bit. But until then, the red move's set.